Guys, welcome to this I'm gonna call it a bonus video in the Agent Hub series. And after covering the core architecture in the previous videos, I want to show you something special: the conversational sign-up flow. The conversational sign-up workflow, like these features, demonstrate advanced architectural thinking. It combines LLM flexibilities with deterministic validation, uses caching for state management, shows how to build a reliable conversational flow. Of course, I could use a traditional sign-up, which actually present all forms at once, and it is uh, no validation until submission, or maybe if you have some, uh, I mean, when I say no validation until submission, I mean backend validation. So uh, the the reason for this conversational sign up I try to demonstrate is for you guys to be able to see there are some complex, based on my experience. I've worked on so many complex onboarding systems that require different processes. User might want to ask questions what each of, or maybe ask clarification during the onboarding. So this is not the case in traditional sign off. You have to call the support, or maybe ask a support, or maybe create a ticket. So in the modern way, I think it is high time that we need to implement a, system that enable that serve as a onboarding partner to users. So uh, let's uh, let's go into this traditional sign off. This the architecture here is LLM plus deterministic workflow. So like I'm using LLM for feed extraction. So because LLM understand the natural language input from user. Because LLM could say, could you provide me your email? I can say, okay, this is my email address. This is my username. So it's not necessary that I have to just type just email address. So I'm using a line graph for deterministic workflow so that I have some predefined rules that the system needs to adhere to. And I'm also using the caching strategies here for state management. So the combination provided flexibility. And if you look at it here, this is the architecture of the sign-up. We have the conversational hot service, intent classification, feed extraction with LLM, orchestrate entire flow. You have the LLM, extract email. So if you check the conversational sign-up, you're gonna see the workflow that what I built into it. So you could check the code here, right? See what it was. So we could improve it, of course. To try to separate some of these, to try to do some performance optimization. But this is just to show you guys how to build. If you have any sign up process that has a lot of information, or you have there are some applications that have complex onboarding process, I think it is better to design it in the modern way. I'm not saying that this implementation, because this implementation is too simple, because I'm just using username, email, address. But what I'm trying to uh, uh, pass here is that complex onboarding process should be handled with the modern infrastructure, I mean, framework. So if you look at here, I have a workflow. It is not just this. Let's say even internally, let's say you have a different kind of workflow, or maybe you have, for example, a credit card company. You may have a workflow that you may have a workflow that process payment. I could recall in my experience when I work with one of the company back in Nigeria, because I'm from Nigeria. So we have we give loan to user, we manage a lot of things, user generate a credit card. So a lot of internal process could be delegated uh, uh, to LLM, because this is modern, and that was what we did then, right? I'm just trying to show this example here. So if you come here, you have the application signup.yaml file here. In the workflow, I define all the rules for my workflow here, right? And I put some system prompt, right? User is clarify the user message into one of these intent. That is, if user want to return the only, this is my prompt, right? If you look at here, you could study it and check it. These are different rules for my workflow. So LLM power feed extraction, try to extract the feed, and e.g., for example, I can say my email address is this. I like the username this. You see, LLM will try to extract all this and pass it. So user can't reach me at this. So LLM understand that this is email address. Now I make my password to be this. So LLM will try to extract this. So if you go to the line graph implementation, which is deterministic, so you should check all the implementation that I did there. I validate names. This is simple implementation, but there are cases where you have a complex workflow. And you see, this is where we're trying to make sure that the first node, you validate email, validate username, validate password, validate this. And I set an entry point because this is the first information that needs to be taken from the user. And if the email is valid, you move to username. If username is valid, you move to password. If password is valid, you move to this. Now I have edge condition, right? And the edge condition is this. Should create user, right? Here, I'm trying to check. If you check the code, you see that what should create user does is that this is trying to check maybe if any of these fail, then this is going to like return back to create user, right? If any of these fail, it's going to like return back to create user. And if you check the create user here, I still try to check this and try to return to the next step. So this make the workflow to be straight, like line chain line graph implementation I did is straight. It is predictable, right? And here I manage the catch. Just check the implementation, and the complete conversational flow is this. And if you look at this, the reason for this hybrid approach, LLM strength leverage. So it's because LLM understand the natural language, so I could use the different language variants. So it will extract multiple feeds and pass it to the deterministic workflow. And I also try to manage the caching. And it is configuration driven, right? All the validation rules were defined in the YAML file. So this technical overview has covered a lot. So the next thing I'm going to show you is just the demo of the application. Here, I've explained the settings, resource, exception handling, LLM abstraction. I mean, each component is designed to be independent. So if you need to add a new LLM provider, you could add without affecting the core agent business logic. You could switch provider And this support multiple session storage. At the factory layer, you could get access to any section by just passing the the name. So the system is production ready, built on built-in resilience, monitoring capability, and a comprehensive error handling. So it serves as both a functional agent framework and also a reference architecture for building extensible AI systems. So if you want to extend it, you are free to extend it. The code is free. You could clone it, uh, modify it, and of course, you are welcome to also contribute. Let's support the community of engineers to go, and even the businesses that want to use this ready-made product. We're not charging anything. I just want to support people in the best possible way I could. So I'm going to show you the final demonstration, which is the main application. Uh, um, this main application could come first, and just for you guys to see what I have for you, how everything works together. Thank you.